Welcome to Difficult Conversation Africa broadcast. I present to you the host, Yinka Olaito.
Welcome to Difficult Conversation Africa podcast. My name is Yinka Olaito. Difficult Conversation Africa podcast is a platform where we raise issues many are afraid to raise, but such difficult conversations are essential to progress, either at the personal level, corporate level, or at the national level. In today's episode, we are looking at Sierra Leone youth and national development. And as usual, before I introduce my guests, I would like to give you a background of what we're trying to say. Sierra Leone youth play a crucial role in national development. They've been involved in generating income, raising the bars, and all of that. Build the brand of the nation at different level. Their civic engagement is also encouraging, and their participation in conversation that affects politics and development in Sierra Leone have been very, very noteworthy. Youth has accelerated economic growth through productive engagement, education, and skill development. They have served as agent of change in Sierra Leone. They serve as agent and driving innovation through entrepreneurship. As much as we have this good report about youth in Sierra Leone, and like every other country across Africa, there are gaps that's needed to be addressed, and there are things that we need to talk about. Despite the progress that Sierra Leone youth have contributed in accelerating the national development of Sierra Leone, it's important to also assess some of the gaps that are still necessary. Today, my guest is a young and promising Sierra Leonean broadcast journalist and award-winning journalist for that matter, who work with one of the strongest radio stations in Sierra Leone. Please welcome with me Davida Solomon.
Hi, Olanka. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And thank you for doing all the best you are doing. Thank you for uplifting the voices of young people and women through your radio program as a producer. So the first question I would like to ask you, Sierra Leone youth continue to be active citizens in national political, but how has their effort yielded much fruit? Will you give an assessment of what you think about the contribution of the young people in Sierra Leone, especially professionals like you?
Hi again. Thank you so much, Olanka, for having me. So let's go straight to the question. Sierra Leonean youth have indeed shown, commendable engagement in terms of political governance, whether through advocacy, civic movements, or activities, or better still, even in participation in elections. But however, outcomes have been mixed while their voices are louder now than ever before. And also some have made into decision making tables that are structural. We have challenges like lack of inclusion in policy making. It remains a barrier. So while we've made progress, it is not yet that fruitful. We have not actually had that result yet. We desire the results we desire to make us, have more than what we are asking for. There is a bit they've given us a little bit of leverages whenever it comes to us taking decision making or being in governance table. There have been progresses made in Sierra Leone that I cannot lie, but what we are asking for is not what they've given us per se, and then we are still advocating for more. We are still advocating for more quotas. We are still advocating so that our voice may be included. We should be included also in policy making and all that. We need more symbolic inclusions. We need functional power transfer. All of those things are things we are trying to to advocate for. Like I said, we have made some strides. This current government has made a lot of strides in that era, in that agenda, and we have young people in political appointments. We have young ministers, we have young youthful people, but when in terms of inclusion, we are asking for a lot more. We're still advocating for that quota.
Thank you, because you said that the voices have been louder, but now you have more young people in the cabinet. What has been the performance of those young people that you now have? Encouraging, or they need to do
Yes,
more?
yes. We'll take our chief minister for instance. Our chief minister is one of the youngest ever in the history of politics. He's in his early late studies into early 40s. He's really young, and ever since his appointment as Minister of Education, while back before ascending to becoming the chief minister for Sierra Leone, he's made remarkable strides in the educational sector. He has made tremendous efforts in that sector before transcending into becoming a chief minister. And even now that he's a chief minister, he's also doing extremely well. We also have one of the youngest Minister of Technology and Innovation. She's also young, Salima Ba. We have young people in the policy sectors. They are doing extremely well. That's what happens when you give young people the chance, when you give young people the opportunity to strive. But we need more of them to show, because most time people feel like, oh, it is political appointments, but they are doing extremely well. Our recently appointed Minister of Youth is also a young guy. He's also a young man, sorry, who was also serving as the deputy minister of innovation technology before ascending to becoming the minister of youth. So in all aspects, this government is trying for inclusion, is trying for diversity, but as always, we are still asking for more. So in my
Asking for
defense,
more.
yes, I would say the young people who have been in the sector, in different sectors, are doing their best they can. They are doing all they can to see that they don't give the notion about young people are not serious, young people are not living up to expectations, young people are not doing their best. But this set of people who came in with this government are doing extremely well.
Yeah, I want to say kudos to those one that are doing extremely well, and based on your assessment, and I think that is commendable. One other thing I want you to speak to, Sierra Leone has a young people a youth enable policy of 2005, which was reviewed in 2019. Um, Beyond policy, how enabling is that policy in empowering the youth to become the best and to become an active participant in governance in every area in Sierra Leone?
Thank you so much for that question. The youth development policy provides a framework that outlines the government's commitments to empowerment, sorry, but the gap lies in the implementation. Whilst the intentions are there, most young people are at the grassroots, who are the grassroots, remain unaware of the policy, also how to access its opportunities. Without accessible platforms, proper monitoring and accountability mechanism, a policy remains just a document. So it's partially enabling, but yet impactful at a scale. So what I'm trying to say in this fact is that there is a policy actually, that if implemented properly, it might boost the youth. Like I mentioned, we have youth in the grassroots that are not aware about this policy, and also don't know how to
Hmm.
access these policies. So without them knowing what the policy is about, which that policy is for actually us, and we not knowing what that policy is about, it's just like an empty document. So we need more monitoring in that aspect. We need more awareness raising. The former Minister of Youth Affairs, who was dismissed by the president, had some track records of not living up to expectations by youth and people who have encountered him, people who have worked with him. There are lots of things that he did that the youth are saying was not necessary, because they are saying, like for instance, the previous minister did a car wash project wherein they would do a lot of car wash in different parts of the country where youth can pick up skills. But prior to his dismissal, more young people and most young people were not happy about that decision. So let's just say, for instance, if young people are included in those policy, those policy makings and discussions, they are the ones who know what they are going through. We are the ones who know what we want. We can be able to discuss. We can be able to, meet at a juncture. But we just saw a car wash project, and then we saw all the other projects which have not yielded a lot. So like I'm emphasizing this policy needs strong monitoring. It needs strong monitoring, and it also needs more awareness raising. It's not like it is not there, it is there, but without if it's not working for its purpose, again, it is just like a mere document. So we are still working on calling on the government to raise awareness on that aspect. Go down to the grassroots, let them know, let them be able to access those documents so that it can be beneficial to all of us.
Yeah, thank you for that. Because the next question I actually wanted to dwell on a little on that. I read somewhere that the government actually acknowledged that there's still a level of marginalization in terms of social and economic opportunity and employment opportunity for the young people despite this law. What do you think that can be done to accelerate or to reduce the rate of marginalization, push up more opportunity for young people to be gainfully employed so they can contribute to the national development?
The honesty in acknowledging youth marginalization is a step forward. However, I wouldn't say I'm impressed with the progress made. Actually, unemployment and underdeployment still remains a pressing issue. While there are programs like youth empowerment funds and skills training initiative, the reach and sustainability of these programs are still limited. In this aspect, we need those programs, and we need systematic reforms. For instance, youth inclusive budgeting, more investment in vocational training, and a stronger private sector linkage. So we are so happy because this new minister that came in about a couple of 2 days ago, he made some strong remarks in that aspect. He spoke about how he's ready to do lots of things, to close the gaps that were there before, things that were not working so well. He spoke about how he would he spoke about his visions about the youth and for youth development and the path that he hopes to chart over the next 3 years when he is in power. So he spoke about a lot of things that were missing prior to the first minister that was in position. So we are anticipating that all of these gaps, all of these mismanagements, and all of these mislaps that we keep talking about, under deployment, unemployment, is something he would look into. Skills training and also vocational training is something that he would also put or prioritize when it comes to power, because we have lots of, I wouldn't want to say illiterate youth, but we have people who are not fortunate to further their education but are skillful in other different arenas and things that they are good in. So we are still pushing in this aspect that they are not marginalized, that their issues are also looked at. And we are hopeful about the things he spoke about, because he spoke about nice things. It's not about saying them, it's not about talking about them, but it's about putting action to them. So because for years down the line, we've been hearing about stuff, we've been hearing all promises, empty promises, empty promises. But we are hopeful because this is a young man, so he would actually understand the cries of the young people in the country.
Yeah, thank you. Statistics have proven that Sierra Leonean youth are very enterprising and very focused, and that some of them are leading the tech innovation in the country. But they still have a lot of barriers holding them down to move at the speed at which they really desire. So, what are your thoughts on these, and what do you think can be done to motivate young people interested in leading a tech driven economy in Sierra Leone?
Several factors can contribute. First of all, let's talk about how resilient our youth are in the country and adaptive. We've grown up navigating systems that often fail us. Like I've previously said, we've been living on empty promises, and then not all of us have been, drop down our dreams of not pursuing what we really want. So we've been really, really, really strong in navigating systems that have failed us. So we create our own path, we create our own, we make a way for ourselves where we feel that there is no way. Most of us have been able to navigate the entrepreneurship sector, the tech sector. And for instance, last year the government, I'm telling you about how, youthful her ministers are now. So the Minister of Innovation and Technology held a tech summit, wherein we had thousands of people. We had tech innovators from across West African countries who were here in Sierra Leone, and it's also going to happen again this year. It was so beautiful to see young people in tech. It was so beautiful to see young minds, young people who are actually again navigating their paths and also making a way for themselves in the tech driven industry, entrepreneurship. So we've all been able to channel the negativity, the thoughts of, oh, we're not going to be sitting again and waiting for them to do the things that we are supposed to be doing. We would go halfway, they would have to meet us halfway. So we have made use of the social media. We have young people who are influencers now. We have young people who are, making so much impact in the social media space. We have so much people. I'm emphasizing on the entrepreneurship because every young person right now in Sierra Leone is doing a side hustle. In as much as maybe you might have a 9 to 5 job, but every young person has a side hustle that they are doing. Second, the rise of digital tools, like I'm saying, the social media has opened the global access, to young people, to information and networks. We've been able to decode the importance of social media. We've been able to use it the right way. We've been able to, to make it a business for all of us. And also the initiative like the hackathon initiative hubs. We have young tech innovators in the country who are actually upbringing young students. So now we have the STEM projects here, which you actually have to be doing since you're in school. Now you don't have to wait till you get to college to go and study engineering before you know the basics about tech and STEM and all of those. So now we have young tech gurus or young tech startups who are in junior schools, primary schools, let's say primary six, in JSS, in junior schools, and even the SSS. So by that they are well equipped before they are going into colleges. So by the time they're into colleges, they would have an idea, they would have gotten a preview about what they are going to. So that aspect has been really, 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 really good. We have also had international accelerator programs. We've had young people travel to the US and other international platforms to showcase their tech skills, their innovation skills that they have, which is actually flying the country's flag of very, very high, and it's beginning to show results. So imagine all of this, how far we could go with stronger local infrastructure and investment. So with in all of the wins that we are having and in all of the gains that we think we are making and all of those flying the country's flag, just imagine if we have the support from governments full force. Lots of tech startups are the ones have to basically use their money, their resources. Most of them are in school. Most of them don't have jobs that they are doing. They're just basically okay. I want to innovate. I want to create. But when you want to make money, you also have to pour money. So most of them are the ones funding themselves now, and they feel like, oh, it's only been selective. There are only selective people that are making it globally. It will not have to get everyone at the same time, but we are hoping that you know it's diversify also inclusion as we are talking about, that these tech startups don't lose their dreams now because they cannot get government support or fundings when they want it. Funding is a big of a problem in that aspect. Funding is really a big of a problem
Yes,
when it comes.
Davida. Thank you. Maybe by the way, let me just raise a concern. It has been said that most young people just want to, because they are looking for side hustle or looking for money, they want to be social media influencers. And it has shown that no nation has ever grown by just click and screen or lights. That we need a level of technology and know-how outside the social media influencing and money. How do they balance this?
Social media is money. Social media, when you use it the right way, is money. Let's take Nigerians for instance. You are from Nigeria. You see how impactful you have lots of influencers. You have lots of, no sooner they reach to the ranks of, prominent influencers, they get brands that call them to become brand ambassadors. They make their money from that. I would not want to so in line with what you are saying. But I know when social media is being used the correct way, I think it gives you money. If I had the time, if I am not always chasing
But
stories,
it's not about money, it's about building other skills that can develop the
you
nation.
can
That's
also
just
build
the
they are also building other skills for themselves. They can become marketers, because basically if you're a brand ambassador, you're actually marketing for an institution or company. So in their way, in their little way, they're
yeah.
making income as well as making themselves impactful in societies. So we always use the Nigerians, for instance. The Nigerians are people they have literally decoded the social media space, and they're making huge money, and then we're seeing the impact. So most of other African countries have also impacted, followed the line of Nigerians, and then they are making
Their life.
their audiences, one way or the other, they are also learning from Nigerians. So I think if it's been used the right way, it can be impactful, it
The
can be
right
skill
way.
building. Yes, the right way. That's what I'm saying. If it's being used the right way, it can be beneficial. Just like the AI tools, if AI is being used the right way, it can be beneficial.
Yeah. That you have a point. I just want us to create a balance. As an individual, that you push through dedication and all of that. You are a licensed professional, not yet at your peak, but at least you are moving. You are moving well, and you are putting all the energy there. One of the things that you have used your platform to do is to raise your voices for gender issues and all of that as a radio producer. Um, what will you want people to pick from you as you grow?
So I'm not just a radio producer. I'm also a presenter and I'm also a reporter. So
Okay.
I multitask a lot in our radio stations. We are being taught and groomed to multitask. So if I'm producing today, tomorrow I'm presenting, the other day I'm reporting. So
Okay.
my motivation,
Reporting.
it comes from lived experiences that I've lived and also my observations. I've seen how systematic inequalities affect women and
Okay.
girls in my country, from access to education to representation in leadership. So I felt a personal responsibility to speak, especially for those who are vulnerable, for those who think their voices are not heard or will not be heard, and also for those who think they don't have a voice anymore in platforms. So every story I cover, every platform I stand on is a chance to advocate for women and girls, for a more just and equal society for all women and girls in Sierra Leone. And honestly, my faith and strength, it comes from women around me and also women that have been grounded also around me. So I can basically say the job that I do is because of my experiences as a girl child growing up in Sierra Leone. Back then it was a bit tough and hectic, but now we've been seeing a lot of steady here, because back then you would say girls were not so allowed to go to school. They would tell you, it's an experience that is everywhere. We prefer the boy child to go to school, but now we have the free education, as they call it, the free quality education, and it's been a bit of a success story because we have lots of women now in school, in vocational training schools, and also in school, women also taking leadership positions. So my motivation comes from that. And also, I am also building a pathway and a platform for women to know that your voices matters, your voice matters everywhere that you go. And it is not because you're a woman, you're not supposed to go to school, you're not supposed to learn a skill, and your responsibilities don't only limit in the kitchen. You are also supposed to break barriers and boundaries and go to the now we have the world is open to everybody despite of gender. So basically, my motivation factor comes and derives from that. And now that I'm seeing a lot of improvement, it also pushes me and forces me to do better, because it feels like all the women in Sierra Leone, including myself, advocating for a just and better society for women, we are winning because we are seeing great deal of results.
Thank you, and kudos for the work you do. There's a vital part that ongoing conversation that youth can easily be distracted, and some of them they are not very apt when it comes to giving attention to detail, and that every professional need a mentor. Will you subscribe to the fact that young people need mentors in the society? And what kind of mentor do you have that shapes your values and your professional growth?
So for me, I don't always go in line with that because I've been big on coaching rather than mentorship. And the word mentorship has been really misused. Everybody has a mentor now, and then it's for the wrong
Okay,
purpose.
let's use coaching. Coaching.
Yes, I
Yeah,
prefer
let's say
coaching a lot
coaching is essential.
because coaching has
Yeah.
groomed me to what I am now. So I'm all big on coaching because it's important for transformational goals as an individual. And I've been blessed with people who have guided me, who have coached me in my my role as a journalist. It has challenged me and what I stand for. And that has also helped me in growing myself, shaping my confidence, and sharpening my focus. A coach helps you avoid costly mistakes, you know, so I think there should be more discussions about mentorship or mentors to young people, like I was saying. And then I think we should actually adapt the word coaching because it is really, really vitally important than mentorship to me. Because I've not been fortunate to have a mentor. Well, I haven't been so keen on having a mentor because in as much as I am inspired by the work other young or other journalists might have done before me, or fascinated about what they have done before me, I also want to create a niche for myself. I also want to create a pathway for myself. I wouldn't want to say because this person is doing extremely well in what they are doing, that person is a mentor to me. I might be, focused on what you are doing. I might be engaged in your work. I might be so fascinated by your work, but it doesn't warrant me to call you a mentor. And we've been using it for the wrong purposes. We reach out to our mentors for the wrong reasons. I wouldn't say me, sorry. They reach out to their mentors for the wrong reason. So me, I would want to say young people should adapt to the coaching mechanism, to have them.
To understand that the mentorship
Yes,
thing.
yes, I prefer coaching than
So,
mentorship.
so the focus should be on coaching, not mentorship, because
Yes,
coaching has better value, and I think that
yes,
that's a good word. That
definitely,
coaching
definitely. For
has
me,
better value than
yes, yes.
in
When
rounding
we
up,
say
just one more
mentors,
question.
when we say mentors, they are always hard to reach, always hard to reach. But if a coach coaches you, at the end of the day, he or she wants you to win because
Yeah,
let's take for
because of
instance
assets.
football.
So
Yes,
your concern is assets.
yes, yes, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
no coach
but
wants
there are
their team to
mentors who
lose.
are coach who are also accessible.
Yeah.
Anyway, we will talk more about that one of these days. Let's go to the last question because of our time. Youth engagements in governance in Sierra Leone is yielding result, but like you said, there are still gaps that you wish that those gaps can be filled. Youth are asking for more involvement. What do you think can be done to fast track this involvement?
So I would say radical inclusion. So our former Minister of Education, who is currently our Chief Minister, is running a movement called the Radical Inclusion Movement, which is a very, very, very important initiative. Some youth may say it's because of politics, playing politics and all of that. But I think radical inclusion is one thing that is really important for youth. And in that radical inclusion, it says we all must work together for the betterment of all of us. So it is not supposed to be a responsibility for just one person. So one would want to say, what is the radical inclusion? Like I said, for him, he defines it as everybody, all hands on deck. So in terms of youth engagement in governance,
Yeah,
I feel
I
it is,
like the definition because I had wanted to ask what is radical inclusion? What do you mean
yes.
by
So
radical?
all of us should join hands together for the betterment of all of us. No matter what you are, no matter who you are, no matter what you are representing, when it comes to the betterment of everybody, your support counts, your opinion counts, your word counts, your say also counts. So I think it is very important for us to adapt that, as it will boost youth engagement in governance. It will also, in governance and also strategies. So he's working on that now for Sierra Leoneans. And I think it's something we are trying to adapt to and tapping into, despite if you are black, you are white, you are disabled, you are not disabled, your opinions to conversations of governance should count, because you are also a human being, you are also a citizen. So we all must come together, we all must be together. We all must put our hands on deck, put our hands on each other to see that we all can boost ourselves. So for me, I think it is something that we as youth should grab as an opportunity to fully understand the dynamics of, to fully dilate what radical inclusion is all about, and see how we can harness and see how we can also use it to our benefits, and also how we can create potential benefits for all of us.
Yeah, thank you, Davida. It has been an interesting conversation, and I'm happy that you are able to share your insight, which is very, very, very enlightening. I just want to say thank you very much for your time. Keep doing what you are doing. We're likely have to have a party to reassess some of the ongoing things that are happening in Sierra Leone in terms of governance, economic empowerment, and maybe one of these days we'll look at gender related issues. That's
Yes.
yeah, and the coaching aspect, which
Yes,
you
and
are
also the
much more interested
misconceptions
and
about
passionate
coaching and
about.
mentorship. Yes, yes, I would love
Exactly,
to.
exactly.
I
So
would love
thank you
to.
once again for your time, and have a great day, and please stay safe all the days. Thank you, our listener, for this opportunity. This is the end of another episode. My guest has been Davida Solomon, a broadcast journalist, a young and promising broadcast journalist, producer, reporter from Sierra Leone. And like we said, we always appreciate your feedback. Please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Follow us on our LinkedIn, X, and on Instagram page. Until when we see you again, thank you. And please don't forget, you can always send us email at info@difficultconversationafrica.org. See you in the next edition.
Thank you for listening to this episode. For inquiry, please send an email to info@difficultconversationafrica.org. Telephone 0809 591. Please follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Difficult Conversation Africa. See you soon.